Have you ever had a visa denied, or maybe you've been caught by immigration trying to come into the United States, or you've been caught by immigration after you're already in the United States and you're thinking about filing for an immigration benefit now? It's very important that you receive your immigration records through the FOIA process, and I'm going to talk about that in today's video. My name is Ashley, and I'm an immigration attorney. I have nearly 13 years of experience. I have two office locations, one in Carlsbad, California, and the other in Bend, Oregon. However, my office provides immigration legal services to clients who are located all over the United States because I only practice immigration law, which is federal. In this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of doing a FOIA request if you have ever had any kind of apprehension with immigration or you've applied for benefits in the past that have been denied. It's so important to request your immigration records before filing for a new benefit with immigration because you want to make sure that your prior immigration history does not disqualify you from requesting the benefit that you now may want to be filing for. So there are many different kinds of FOIA requests that you can make. FOIA stands for Freedom of Information Act. Within immigration, there are many agencies where you can submit a FOIA request, and whichever agency you decide to submit it to really depends on your particular history and what happened. So, for example, I deal with a lot of clients who do recall being caught by immigration at some point when they were trying to enter the United States. And sometimes this happens, as they say, in the hills, meaning that they weren't actually yet at a port of entry, but they were caught by immigration officials as they were trying to cross over the border unlawfully. This can also look like a situation where a client was actually stopped at a port of entry and returned back to their home country. Perhaps if they were trying to enter with a fake document, or they were caught hidden in a car, and they get sent to secondary inspection, and ultimately they are sent back to their home country. There are also situations where a client perhaps applied for some kind of a visa in the past and it was denied. So depending on the situation, you want to file a request to review your records in order for an immigration attorney to find out more about what happened and to determine whether what happened is going to disqualify you or not from a future immigration benefit. This is because there are certain kinds of waivers available for different case types that would allow an immigrant to still file for a benefit with a waiver, assuming that whatever happened in the past can be waived. So again, this is why it is so important if you have any kind of history with immigration, a negative history with immigration, that you want to do your best to obtain all of the records available. Now, there are several agencies where a FOIA request can be submitted. There is a FOIA request with Customs and Border Patrol, which is the immigration officials that are at our ports of entry, whether that's, a land port of entry if someone's driving across the border, like San Ysidro, or if it's, someone's flying into the country. So at an airport when you have to go through customs and inspections. You can do a FOIA request specifically with CBP. You can also do a FOIA request with ICE. So this is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This would be for a situation where perhaps you were caught by immigration inside the United States. Perhaps, immigration officials went to your house and discovered you there. Perhaps, you were arrested for a crime and then you got transferred to the custody of immigration because you don't have your documents. That would be a FOIA request with ICE. There's also a FOIA request with the USCIS, which is U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. This is the immigration agency that processes benefit applications. So if you have ever filed, let's say, for your green card, perhaps you filed for like a U visa in the past, you filed for some kind of an immigration benefit, you would want to do a FOIA request with USCIS if that benefit was denied for some reason, because you want to find out from that agency the reason why it was denied. There's also FOIA requests with the Department of State. The Department of State handles visas for people who are abroad, who are outside of the United States. So let's say that you applied for a tourist visa from your home country, or you applied for some other kind of a visa to enter the United States, perhaps a visa based on um, your job in the United States. For example, a TN visa for people from Mexico and Canada who qualify for the TN visa. That would be an example where you would want to file a FOIA request with the Department of State if for some reason that visa was denied at the consulate when you went for your interview. There's a FOIA request also with EOIR, which is the Executive Office of Immigration Review. This is the immigration agency in charge of immigration court proceedings. So if you were ever placed into removal proceedings here in the United States, which means that you had to attend court hearings, you had to go before an immigration judge to file your case, to ask to stay in the United States, and for whatever reason, your case was denied by the immigration judge, you would want to file that FOIA request specifically with EOIR to obtain that court record. So there, as you can see, there are many different agencies within immigration where you could potentially file a FOIA request. Knowing which agency to submit that request to is extremely important. I cannot tell you how many times I speak to potential clients who tell me, oh, I got my background check and everything is clear, even though they've also told me that they got apprehended at a port of entry and sent back to their home country, and they will show me an FBI background check, or they will show me a USCIS FOIA that doesn't have anything in it. And I often tell them this is not sufficient. The government absolutely will have a record of this apprehension and your return to your country. Here is the correct agency where you need to submit that FOIA request. So if you have ever had any kind of history with immigration, you need to request your records through the FOIA process. You need to make sure that you speak to an immigration attorney before you pay money, not only attorney's fees, but immigration filing fees to request a new benefit that you may not be eligible for. And again, depending on the kind of benefit that you are seeking, there may be a waiver available to you. For whatever happened in your past. That is a situation that an immigration attorney can advise you better on once your immigration attorney receives your FOIA records. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, if you've ever been apprehended by immigration, you've ever had some kind of negative history with immigration, and you're wondering if it's going to impact your ability to file for a new immigration case in the future, don't hesitate to contact me. We help clients all of the time with their FOIA requests before they hire to file an actual case with immigration. We have a lot of experience doing this. We know the right agencies to send them to. We know the right procedures for each particular agency. Don't hesitate to reach out at 760-812-3778.